The Target Series heads to the short track in Iowa for its 6th race of the season. We're here for the Nike 300 at the Iowa Speedway. It's going to be a crazy race. Iowa always produces a fantastic race. This one should be no different. Under the lights racing. It's going to be a wild one. And on the pole for this race is Las Vegas winner Cole Luigi in the 33. Who's outside Jay Jefferson, who barely missed out on winning the Bristol race last race. He's looking for redemption here at Iowa, another short track. Then third we have Greg Torres. Fourth is William Boland. Rounding out the top 5 we have George Cooper. In 6th it's Mitchell Collins. 7th is Josephine O'Neill, Jonathan Buford in 8th, Anthony Hernandez 9th, and John Gambit rounds out the top 10. For the rest of you, we have Adam McDowell in the 16, who's outside the 70 of James DeCurligan. Then there's Landon Lyons, who's inside Blake Petrus, along with Jennifer Buford and Mathis Wells. Then there's Eli Bry after winning 2 in a row. He's looking to get that momentum back. He's been horrible since Las Vegas. Who's inside the 28 Riley Sprague, going for back-to-back wins here at Iowa. He won the truck race yesterday. He's looking for one in the Target Series. Then we have Justin East, who's inside Derek Hamill, along with Max Anderson and Jason Larker. Then we have points leader Luke Rainey and Bristol winner as well, who's outside the 01 of Evan Hunter. Then we have Jeff Bright and Roman Fenway, along with Paul Taylor and Ryan Brommer. Then there's Oliver Galloway and Michael Canto, Sebastian Kukulon with Anton Charlebois. Then we have Jake Galloway and Levi Schoen, along with Jim Gambit and Marshall Burrow. Then there's Marcus Sachi and Jacob Davidson. Second in points, Ryan Taylor starting back at the back of the field, looking to try and gain points on Luke Rainey, who's outside the 25 of Trey Rainey. And in the final, we have the 21 of Danny Lloyd, who's outside, starting in the 42nd position is the 09 of Alexander Rowe. That is our 40-car field for the Nike 300 here at Iowa. Let's get started with our starting command.
Drivers, start your engines!
And there is our command to fire our 42 engines here at Iowa under the lights, 45 laps around this racetrack. It's sure to be a wild one as our 42-car field rolls off the starting grid. Cole Luigi, Jay Jefferson on the front row for the Nike 300. So far this season, Eli Bryce won the first 2 races. Cole Luigi went out and won at Las Vegas. George Cooper won at Phoenix, and then Luke Rainey, our most recent winner at Bristol. Who will win on the short track in Iowa? Will be a repeat winner again, or will we have someone new win in Target Series season number 7? Down the front stretch to the restart zone, we're racing here at Iowa. Green flag in the air for the Nike 300. Cole Luigi got a great jump to get clear and will lead lap 1. Greg Torres moves to second. The 7 cars, they very soft into turn 1. Front 2 clear, now the 7 to the inside of the 33 is Cole Luigi went up the racetrack. Here comes Torres to the bottom lane. George Cooper as well in the 38, down the back stretch. Cooper to 3rd, Jefferson back to 4th. Here comes Josephine O'Neill up inside the top 5. Close for the front 2. Torres up the racetrack, carries the 33 Luigi up. And now the 38 George Cooper looking for a second. The two Great Clips cars side by side for a second. George Cooper is going to take on the bottom lane. Now he'll be challenging for the race off turn 2. Here he comes to the bottom. Here comes Josephine in the 34. Let's see if Cole Luigi get down line right here. No, O'Neill drove it hard to the corner. Up the racetrack. Here comes Jonathan Buford in the 66. As the front 2 make contact. They're in the wall. And around go our front 2. Torres around with George Cooper. The yellow flag will come out. And there's contact everywhere. Our pulse are involved. There's Jennifer Buford. There's your points leader, Luke Rainey. Greg Torres as well. The yellow flag, and it's for our front 2, our front 3. Craziness here early on in Iowa. The leaders wreck each other. Jonathan Buford escapes to lead us back. Hernandez and O'Neill get some damage in the 34 from that. As the yellow flag comes out, and it's a big incident. There's Buford with all her damage. There's Alexander Rowe in the 09 with all that damage. How about the 99 with damage? Jacob Davidson. Cole Luigi did get damage. I think Danny Lloyd's all torn up in the front end. How about Ryan Taylor, who's second in points coming in this race? Evan Hunter has some rear end damage. So the 23 looks like does have some front end damage. Levi Schoen's may have some rear end damage. But the yellow flag comes out, and that changes a lot here at Iowa. As a lot of drivers up there in points. Luke Rainey, points leader in Bristol winner. Damage has come down pit road. Jennifer Buford the same there. Eli Bright may have gotten to win the 88. Max Anderson has some damage. So the yellow flag comes out, and it's not for anything small. Big crash front of the field, and this could change a lot of how this race goes. Greg Torres, one of the big drivers involved, running up for the race lead. They get together, they make contact into the wall. They go around in front of the whole field. And I would wager about 10-15 cars got damage from this. Maybe not race-ending damage, but they at least got damage. We'll see what happens at caution number 1 early on here at Iowa. Racing for the lead, George Cooper sails it off into the corner. Up the racetrack he goes and just kind of carries Torres up the racetrack. They make contact. They get together right here into the wall. The 38 just kept coming up. Then Torres got involved. There's O'Neal with her damage. Into Jonathan Buford. Kept it straight. Then how about Cole, Luigi, and Jay Justin getting on the brakes? Bolin as well. But right here, the A7 comes in. There's the 28 Spray Tube. There's Luigi getting his damage. And that's just on from there. 98, 62, 88. There's the 43. Shones, Hunter, Burrow. There's Luke Rainey. Jay Jefferson in the middle of all of it. That's a big crash. Big time crash here in front of the whole entire field. And there's nowhere for them to go. The drivers on the inside got lucky. Like the first 10, 15 on the inside got really lucky. Right there, 26, 70, or the last one's getaway. There's lines going around. There's Charles Bois in it. The 04, Jason Larker. And it was a big time crash here in front of the field. Eli Bright won the first 2 races this season. Looks like he does get some heavy front end damage from this. As he comes flying into it, he's not had any luck since his win at Daytona Auto Club. You see the crash up in front. And I think he got hit into it. And look at the 62 on top of the 88. He does drive away. He's going to be able to continue on in the race, but he does have some front-end damage that might affect how the race goes for him. Code Luigi started on the pole, won at Las Vegas. He's involved in this. It is some slight damage. We'll see, though, how it affects his car, because that is a very crucial part of the car. Right there, you can see the crash happen in front. He does get slowed down, misses a 7, and trying to shoot that gap, gets into the 38 a little bit there. We'll see how that damages. Obviously, that is a part of the car that could end up being pretty crucial if you have damage. Also going over with the 05 of Jay Jefferson. Started outside the front row. He's involved in this one. So he was right in the middle of it. Just behind the 33, but he was in the middle lane. I think a car may have jumped out to the outside of him. That's why he couldn't go up high. And right there, I think like Mathis Wells was one of the last to get around. But I think Spurley Tube, he might be out of this race. He hit pretty hard. And yeah, he's smoking up there. I think Riley Spurley Tube might be done for the day. Luke Rainier, points leader, coming into this race. And he might not leave it like that. He had a 20-point advantage. But he's involved in the big one here at Iowa. You can see he spun the 60 out, and then here he comes into it, and I think someone hit him into Bolin. It looked like he had just hit Bolin a little bit, and then he got nailed into him. That's a tough break for Luke Rainier, our points leader. Yeah, there's Spurley with all his damage. I think he's going to be done for the night. So back in front was the 66 of Jonathan Buford. He'll stay on the racetrack. Buford, after narrowly missing that crash, leads back to the green flag in the Nike 300. Coming back to the restart lap number 8, Jonathan Buford out from the 66 over Josephine O'Neal. From that crash, the cars out. Alexander Rowe, Danny Lloyd, Ryan Taylor second at points, Jennifer Buford, and Riley Spurley Tube. Jacob Davison lap down along with the 01 of Evan Hunter. 35 cars on the lead lap here. Luke Rainier, our points leader, currently scored. Looking for him right here. Can't find him. Either blind or he's somewhere up further. 19th right now on the racetrack. But Jonathan Buford leads. Here comes Josephine O'Neal. She did get some damage from that crash on the front end. I think she is just a little bit slower as they come down the backstretch. Yeah, she has some pretty heavy damage to the front and right side of that car, and here comes Hernandez to the bottom lane in the 1 car. So as they come off turn 4, Hernandez going to get to second. As there's a separation, I believe the front 9 have kind of gotten away here. Cole Luigi and George Cooper trying to hang on to the front 7. And then these drivers back here trying to get around Greg Torres, who was really falling off. He got a ton of damage. He was one of the first to be involved in that crash. That's why he's falling off big time. You see Jay Jefferson going to go around him. Eli Bright even going to go around him soon. So the 7 car definitely well torn up. And O'Neal keeps fading back on the outside with that damage. Her car might not be 100% either. Here comes Blake Peters to the inside looking for a top 5 spot in the 15 car. They race off into turn 1. There's Adam McDowell to the inside, peeking down low. And look at the one for Hernandez all the way up the racetrack. And McDowell's going to take advantage to get to second. Yellow's out again. Caution number 2. It's for Kukulon, the 6 car on the front stretch. Racing back to the start-finish line. Hernandez up the racetrack. Here comes the 16. McDowell's going to get second. Jonathan Buford leads back to the caution flag. Peters will be third, or maybe 4th. Close there. I think they're going to give it to Peters there for 3rd. So yellow flag comes out, Jonathan Buford leads back to the caution flag, and this yellow for Kukulon spinning around on the front stretch. Cautions breed caution, especially at short tracks. We'll see what I bring at caution number 2 early on still here in Iowa. Just racing here towards the back of the field, and pretty self-explanatory. Trey Rainier comes up and he just wipes out Sebastian Kukulon. I don't know if Kukulon had done something to Trey Rainier earlier in the race or something, but obviously Trey was not too happy with Kukulon and just decided to wreck him there. Nothing more to that. I think Trey just kind of came up, and unless he did a huge misjudgment, but he never lifted, it didn't look like. I think he just kept turning into that 6 until he spun around. Tough break for Kukulon, but obviously he and Trey Rainey not getting along well here in Iowa. Short track tempers at its finest here in the Target Series. Kukulon gets spun around by Trey Rainey. We'll see if any rebuttals from that as well. Jonathan Buford has led since the restart. He leads us back to the caution flag. He'll stay on the racetrack, and he'll lead us back to the green flag as well here in the Nike 300. Coming back to the restart lap number 15, Jonathan Buford out front for the second restart of the night, just like he was the first one. Still 35 cars on the racetrack on the lead lap. Kukla has fallen to 34th because of that spin. Luke Ray has fallen to 22nd with that damage. He's just going to look for this term called a good points day. He just wants a good points day here out of Iowa, move on, and try and keep himself in a good position in points. So Jonathan Buford leads Adam McDowell, Blake Petrus, Anthony Hernandez, and Mitchell Collins to the green flag. As we're back racing, that was a very terrible restart for Blake Petrus. He really spun the tires there, possibly getting into third gear. And McDowell's going to hunt down Jonathan Buford here. He's going to try at least. Here comes Hernandez to the bottom lane in the 50. Petrus just did not get a good jump there. Off into turn number 3, side by side for third. The one for Hernandez takes the 15. Petrus up the racetrack. Contact there for third. They might go into the wall. They are on the wall. Big contact for the 1 in the 15. Collins gets some damage there, but gets away. Now Carr's going to try to get down low here. Mathis Wells going to get some positions. O'Neal to the bottom lane of Petrus. And Hernandez wants to get away at the racetrack. Here comes the Curligan, the 70 car. Beating and banging here at the short track in Iowa. Allowed 2 cars to get away. And back here a mess. They're looking 3 and even 4 wide. Look at Jay Jefferson making up ground with Landon Lyons. The 2 Great Lakes cars falling back. Cole Luigi and George Cooper. How about Derek Hamill for a top 5 spot? The 26, that's for 5th. The front 3 pulled away. But it's Jonathan Buford leading the way with McDowell in 2nd. Collins in 3rd. And it's a big separation back to 4th, which is a huge pack now. To Kurligan. And another yellow is out. Caution number 3. It's for another front stretch crash. Marshall Burrell. And I think Charles Blanc and Levi Schoen's involved in this one. Another caution flag here early on. Marshall Burrell. One of them involved in the A9. And we get another restart here at Iowa just before the halfway point. So 3 cautions not even halfway through the race. We'll see what happens at caution number 3. Here's the reason for caution number 3. Levi Schoen's in the 27 racing with the 00 of Justin Heath. And he gets a little high just like the first crash into the 00. They put each other into the wall. Schoen's and Heath go around right here in front of the field. There's the 43 Paul Taylor missing it. There's Luke Rainier points there missing it. Burrow comes in nowhere to go, hits him. Michael Canto gets damaged right there as he goes for a slide. I believe those were the cars involved. Sharbaugh was on pit road when all that took place. So once again, just like the first incident, they just got up together and into the wall. Brings out the caution flag for the 3rd time here tonight. And we're not even halfway through the event. That's a very crazy race. And Jonathan Buford has dominated so far, leading most of the laps. And some drivers with more damage here. Short track racing, beating and banging. And that's what's going to happen. Jonathan Buford has dominated so far, leading since the first caution flag. He'll stay out once again on the racetrack. He has Adam McDowell behind him on this restart. We'll see what the 16 can do if he can try and pass the 66 here on restart number 3. Going back green lap number 22, Jonathan Buford still out front, and we're just before halfway. Add Anton Charles Blanc to the list of cars 1 lap down, as we have 33 on the lead lap now. And the 89 Marshall Burrow out of the race from that crash. So Jonathan Buford has led since the first caution flag. He's still out front looking to just dominate from here on out. Adam McDowell trying to stop that in 2nd. Then we have Mitchell Collins 3rd, Mathis Wells 4th, and Derek Hamill up inside the top 5. So restart here, Jonathan Buford out front once again as we're back racing in Iowa. Green flag back in the air. Buford gets away, but McDowell does stay with them better than anyone has. If that 6-6 overdrives the corner, here comes the 16 to the bottom lane looking low. Buford trying to middle lane, McDowell trying to bottom lane. Pretty equal down the back stretch into turn 3. Buford cannot be forced into a mistake here. He cannot allow that 16 to force him into a mistake, get him up the racetrack. Here comes Collins for 2nd in the 11 car. Halfway through this event. And for 2nd, Mitchell Collins on Adam McDowell as Jonathan Buford continues to lead as they come down the backstretch. Jay Jefferson back there for a spot for 6th. Still side by side for 2nd. Sliding up for the 11 of Collins. And coming off the corner, he's going to try and clear McDowell right here down the front stretch for the 16, battling back on the high side. Collins into turn 1, drives it hard. The 6-6 of Jonathan Buford way up the track. Almost using the wall to turn. And now Collins closes in. Mathis Wells going for 3rd. That was big for that 66. Almost into the wall. And Collins now closes in. But he gets a little high. And almost into the wall off the corner. And now Mathis Wells is going to try and take 3rd. Derek Hamill going to try and get to 4th. Off into turn 1. Once again. 66 up the racetrack. But the 20 moves to the inside 11. And Mitchell Collins cannot take advantage. Down the backstretch. Side by side for a 2nd. Mathis Wells. Mitchell Collins. Wells is going to take it. And now the 26 of Derek Hamill will try and move his way to 3rd. 20 laps of racing to go here in Iowa. Wells 2nd. That has a good bit to try and run down Jonathan Buford. Once again goes up the racetrack. The 20 a little bit lower, trying to close in as they come down the backstretch. Look at Derek Hamill, though, looking to the inside of the 20 car. If he gets to the inside, that's once again going to stall their progress and going to allow Buford to pull away even more. That's what Hamill's going to do right here. Try to get that side draft off the 20 car of Wells. Down the front stretch. For second is the battle. The race lead, no battle. Jonathan Buford continuing to pull away as the battle for a second behind. They have to get single filed up. Even then, they would need a caution. I don't think they can run them down by themselves without a yellow flag. Hamill's going to get to second right here as Jay Jefferson moves his way around the car to get closer to a top 5. So Derek Hamill is second, but Jonathan Buford leads. Now James DeCurgan looking to the inside of Hamill as they go through 1 and 2. Now down the backstretch. Side by side for second. Mathis Wells, where is he going? The 20. He's going to look back down to the bottom lane. As DeCurgan goes up the racetrack, Wells is going to take it 3 wide in the 20 car. 3 wide for a second down the front stretch. It's Wells to the bottom lane of DeCurgan and Derek Hamill. And I think Jonathan Buford is loving what he's seeing. He's looking at that mirror saying, keep going, keep going, keep going. You guys keep battling, I'm going to pull away. And they are still battling down the backstretch. Mathis Wells in the 20, still trying to clear DeCurgan. Up the racetrack they go. Almost contact for the second and third place cars. But Wells comes out of it with 16 to go in the second position, but nowhere near the 66 of Jonathan Buford. Yeah, Buford is just running an excellent race right now. No one near him. I think he has over a second, almost a second. And if they just keep battling, it's going to be his race to lose right here. Because Adam McDowell now closing down the 20 of Wells. So they get side by side. It's going to slow him even more. The 20 tried to block it up. Here comes McDowell now. The gap almost a second back to second place from our race leader. And McDowell with 15 to go, side by side. Off into turn 3. Once again, still side by side. For second. First in class. And McDowell, Mathis Wells still side by side down the front stretch with 14 to go. The gap almost a second. And Adam McDowell now. Going to get by Mathis Wells as the yellow flag has come out. Yellow is out, maybe it's the front runners. It is. Shones involved. Heath again. I think Mitchell Collins is involved. That's Oliver Galloway, excuse me, in the 10. The 6. The 25 may have been involved. The 1, Anthony Hernandez, he was inside the top 10. So yellow flag is out, and Jonathan Buford's lead is gone. That big lead we had mentioned that he had, it has disappeared, and he's got to deal with another late race restart here at Iowa. He's done great the first few times, but with caution number 4 out late, it's going to be under 10 laps to go. We'll see what Buford can do on this restart. We'll see what happens though. Anthony Hernandez running inside the top 10, makes contact, goes around, and has heavy damage to that number 1 Chevrolet. Reason for caution number 4, same as a few of the other ones. Hernandez up the racetrack, gets clipped together with the 33 of Code Luigi. Into the wall there go. 33 hard into the wall. Around goes the 1 of Hernandez. As he's spinning around right there, he gets sideways. The yellow flag comes out. O'Neal gets by. Bolin gets by. There's the Brights. There's Code Luigi. And Roman Fenway comes in and just taps the 1 of Hernandez. Gets him going again. The yellow flag, though, does come out. And, oh, there's John Gambit. There's Trey Rain. Then they start attacking up. Here comes the 18 Galloway into it. Heath as well. Kukulon. Oliver Galloway. And Shones comes in, piles into the 9-9. Luke Rain trying to stop as all that's happening. So a bigger crash than what it should have been. Should have been about 2-3 cars that got damaged. Instead, about 5, 6, 7 got damaged and all that. Battling inside the top 10. This is for the 9th position. Hernandez just getting by Code Luigi, and then the contact made. And there's Fenway, and then he gets clobbered by a few cars. There's Trey Rain. There's the rest coming in. Here comes the 27 Shones into it. And this is not what Jonathan Buford wanted to see. He was running off into the sunset. And now he has to deal with a late race restart here in the Nike 300. Buford leads him back to the caution flag. And once again, will lead on a restart. This is 4th restart up front. Can he cap off a dominating performance here at Iowa? We'll find out. Restarts under 10 to go coming up here at Iowa. 9 laps. That's all that's left here at Iowa. We could have another caution within that period as well. So 9 laps left here in the Nike 300. From that crash, out is Levi Shones, the 18 of Jake Galloway, and the 87 of John Gambit. Oliver Galloway as well out. 29 cars on the lead lap. Luke Rainier, points leader. I was looking for him. Didn't really see him. He's 28th right now. As John Buford trying to cap off a dominant performance in the lead. Adam McDowell in second. DeCurgan, Landon Lyons, and Wells rounding out the top 10. We're back racing here in Iowa. That's 9 laps to go right now. Buford leads McDowell. McDowell a little bit lower. Once again, that's just like the last restart as they come down the backstretch. How's DeCurgan and Landon Lyons playing to this? They're both inside the top 5. 16, big time at the racetrack. Way up the track goes McDowell, almost into the wall for 4. And now DeKerlgan trying to go for second in the 70 car. Jonathan Beeford, he cannot overdrive any of these corners. He knows what it would do. He overdrove one of them on the last run and almost lost the race. He was lucky that no one was close enough to steal that lead from him. But now they are close enough to where they could pounce if he goes up the racetrack. Buford to lead here with 7 laps of racing to go. DeKerlgan, though, is second, trying to run down that 66. But now the 70 up the racetrack. Big time for DeKerlgan. And Landon Lyons moves to the inside. That could be game over. Yeah, down the backstretch, they're racing. Every time they try to make a pass at each other, the more the 66 pulls away. Crossover of the 16 McDowell on his teammate Lyons. Contact for the second place. 3 wide down the front stretch for second. All this happening by Jonathan Buford, your race leader. And McDowell 3 wide to second in the 16 car. But Buford pulls away. We're coming to 5 to go. That's a big lap for Buford because he knows a yellow would end it. McDowell's nowhere near, and he keeps running higher than the 66 and keeps losing ground. That 66 is pretty good right now. He's not had to use his tires up. He can just hug that bomb lane. 5 to go. Yellow would end it here at Iowa. And Mathis Wells to the inside for third in the 20 car. So they come down the backstretch. Derek Hamill making up ground. He's getting by Mitchell Collins and Jay Jefferson. As DeKerlgan looks for a top 5 spot, fourth. Now they are single file for the front few. Can the 60 and the 20 run down the 66? They have 4 laps to try it. And they would need a huge mistake on Buford. That is a huge mistake right there. McDowell a little bit lower than the 66. Buford up the racetrack big time. Down the backstretch, the 16 closed down just a little bit, but he needs a lot more of the same thing that happened in turn 1 to happen more of these laps, and they may be making contact back here. Jay Jefferson and Derek Campbell are making contact, and the 26 may not be happy with the 05. Look at him splitting them 3 wide. Yeah, he's not happy with the 05. The 05 took his nose off through the corner and almost wrecked them both. Hamill showing disappointment there. James DeKerlgan to third, but they have 2 laps to run down the 66 of Jonathan Buford. McDowell's trying everything he knows. He's been so close this season, capping off that dominant championship they had last season with the momentum here this season. The only thing he's missing is a win. And with 2 to go, he's so close. He's in second position. He can see the race leader, but he's not gaining much ground. White flag this time in Iowa. Jonathan Buford is dominating. He's led since the first restart. Off of 4, he sees the white flag. Surrender for the rest of the field. Last lap in Iowa. Dominant performance here in the Nike 300. Buford just has to make a half lap more. Up the racetrack he goes, but the 60 as well. They're going to be bound for second. Down the backstretch for the final time here in Iowa. Off into turn 3 for Jonathan Buford. He's dominating. He's led since the first caution flag. And off turn number 4, he'll cap it off with a win. Jonathan Buford wins in Iowa. Close for a second, I believe McDowell did nip Mathis Wells for that second position. And he did. McDowell gets second, but it's Jonathan Buford, the one we should be focusing on as he dominates here at Iowa to win the Nike 300. Crazy race, 4 yellow flags. Let's now go check the finishing results. Here are the finishing results from the Nike 300 at Iowa. It says there's 5 caution flags, so there's really 4. There's just 1 after the race for 16 laps. And only 3 different drivers led this race, 2 lead changes. Jonathan Buford led 43 of the 45 laps, dominant here to get to victory lane in Iowa. And McDowell close again, he'll end up second. He'll take over the points lead. Mathis Wells third, Landon Lyons fourth, and James DeKerlgan rounds up the top 5. Then we have Derek Hamill in 6th, Mitchell Collins 7th, Jay Jefferson 8th, Blake Peters 9th, and Jason Larker rounds up the top 10. There's your top 20. The Brights end up 11th and 12th there. Pole sitter Luigi led 1 lap and ended up 14th after getting damage in 2 accidents. So he hung around basically top 15 all day. That's just a grueling performance there at the 33. 28 cars finish on the lead lap. Greg Torres led the lap. The first car 1 lap down. 32 cars finished the race running as on down. Oliver Galway on down to Alexander Rowe out from crash damage. Let's now go look at the points. Here are the points standings following the Nike 300 at Iowa. Adam McDowell has been consistent this season. 4 top 10s in 6 races puts him atop the points list, with Jonathan Buford 62 points behind. That win moves him up to second base, 62 points behind. He is second in points right now, only 1 point ahead of third place Luke Riney, who falls from first to third with his dismal performance here at Iowa. He has 4 top 10s on the season as well. Jim Gambit is 4th, a very quiet season for him. He doesn't even have a top 5 yet this season. Running out the top 5, Mathis Wells. Then with Ryan Taylor in 6th, Luigi 7th, Blake Peters 8th, George Cooper 9th, and Sebastian Kukulon holds the final top 10 spot. He is 10th. There's your top 20, but he's only 6 points ahead of Jade Jefferson, only 14 ahead of Max Anderson, only 15 ahead of Eli Bright, who has those 2 wins. He's right now one of the wild cards. Hernandez is there, Bullen, Lyons, DeCurligan. On down, Jeff Bright has broken his way inside the top 20. Jason Larker is 20th. And we look down here, 21st to 40th. No winners down here. Still looking for some more winners on the season. We're only 6 races in, 5 winners this season, all of which inside the top 12 in points. So after Iowa, we look to another short track, another big historic track in NASCAR. We go to North Wilkesboro for the Mellow Yellow 250. I'll see you guys then.